All right. Hello, boxing community. I want to talk to you about some serious stuff here. Uh, Underlying conditions, which can be easily seen, uh, that you can easily figure out who the corrupt people are in boxing. And you can easily see why boxing is so corrupt. And yet no one wants to talk about it. I'm going to give you the underlying ways that you can just pull and pluck these corrupt people right from out of the bag easily. You go look at their social media post. Joe is friends with damn near everybody that is anybody in professional and amateur boxing at this moment. But that won't, I don't think that'll be for long, because we've decided to call these bastards out that are exhibiting signs of the underlying roots of and exposing them inside of boxing itself. So here goes. I'll just give you a couple of past examples. Back about a year and a half ago, about a year and a half ago, I was on X and I start seeing, and this is before the hammer was pulled on Twitter, now known as X, and two high profile guys in boxing were talking very openly. And that's just the key here. These guys, they'll hide damn near direct criminal activity, but they will not hide who they are and what will let you know who's who in the corruption of boxing today, amateur and professional, which is all this woke mess. These woke people are corrupt. They're monetarily corrupt as well. So about a year and a half ago, two of my ex-buddies, Michael Buffer, if you don't know who Michael Buffer is, he's the pencil neck geek that stands there and goes, "Whoa, let's get ready to rumble," and gets paid millions of dollars a year to basically get up and announce that stupid phrase. And we all have eaten it up forever and a day. And a gentleman named Al Bernstein, which has been on a lot of shows. I still like Al, and I'll tell you why in a second. I still really adore Al. But you go look up Al Bernstein, you'll know who he is. If you know boxing, you will know who these two people are. But Michael Buffer is just ruined, ugly. And I'm going to tell you about the incident right now. Michael Buffer is on X just dogging Christians left, right, and center of it. He's a Jewish guy. Al Bernstein's a Jewish guy too. A lot of these guys that are Jewish seem to have a clique over there. "Oh, you're racist." No, I wouldn't be the racist one. I just happen to be a Christian that doesn't like religious racism put on us. And it's very funny that these people never attack Muslims or anything that's on the left side of the equation. And I'm going to get to it, how you can add it both up in a second, because I'm going to mention a third individual that you all should be very well aware of, a promoter. I'm going to bring a promoter into this mix. And there's hundreds of issues. I'm just going to mention personal issues with myself or with my 16-year-old son, Joe, who will be heavyweight champion of the world. You just don't know it yet. and you just can't see it yet, and I understand that. So Michael Buffer is just reaming Christians. So Al, being the dutiful Jewish guy, gets on there and is kind of agreeing with everything that Michael Buffer says. There's cliques at work. People know one another. They're trying to get boxing stories, and that's another thing in boxing. These reporters and dinosaur media in boxing, that has to go as well. That needs to go. It's no different. The legacy media in boxing is no different than legacy media on the television. It's lies and propaganda. They are going to propel their guy, and they're going to derail the other guy. Case in point, Sonny Liston. You don't know who he is, you need to go look the former heavyweight champion of the world up. And what these media leftist loons did to him. So they're going on and on. And go verify what I'm saying. Go look over at Michael Buffer's X account and scroll down. I don't look at anything he has to say anymore because I don't like him. But go down into the past, and you're going to see where he is discriminating heavily against Christians. Something that hopefully, if Pam Bondi, our new Attorney General, does her job correctly, maybe he's forced out of these major belt-holding organizations to where he can't announce no more. He doesn't deserve to be making money off of mainly Christian people and sit and hate and detest us so much. So Al comes on, is in the fray. Oh, yeah. Well, I responded back to Michael Buffer immediately because he was the one being top dog, ugly and hateful towards Christians. And, of course, he didn't have a reply back. He went and hid under the rock, you know. And these people, we have not friended these people. These people know a little bit about boxing, and they have friended either myself or Joe. You want to friend the greatest prospects and people that you say, hey, look at this kid, because they want to get on the inside from the start. They're like parasites that suck the working blood out of other people. Point blank. Take from that what you will. That's what they do. It's fact. So I get to conversing back and forth with Al Bernstein, and he is actually man enough to apologize about it and said, you know, kind of basically starts explaining, you know, I'm on the left, and sometimes I get caught up in our own propaganda, but I mean no malice towards anybody. And I believe Al Bernstein. And how you can add the 2 plus 2 to get 4 is simply by looking at boxing people online and see if they're mimicking the corrupt press or these corrupt leftists or rhino, Republican in name only, politicians. And if they are mimicking them, they're just as corrupt. And you know it, and I know it. Or you're either blind, you are going around with horse blinders on, and there's no telling you anything because you don't want to see. So I think I've got a motorcycle coming down the road here. So on to another issue, which was this morning. Dennis Rappaport puts up a post. He's got Tulsi Gabbard on one side, RFK Jr. on the other, and said, could you trust Tulsi with our secret information? This should scare you to death. And JFK is going to stop every baby from being immunized. So they're going to use our intelligence and use our healthcare system to kill us. And, I got on there and left a lengthy, worded message on that piece of junk's bullshit. And if you don't know who Dennis Rappaport is, he was the manager of Gentleman Jerry Cooney. He managed and promoted Roberto Duran, Tim Witherspoon, and several other people with that massive corrupt crook, Don King. So these people are just corrupt, and that's how you can tie it together. And he's on and on and on. So I just mentioned logic to him. I said, number one, you keep harping democracy, yet you back a party that had no democratic process in who they were going to run for president. That harped democracy and forced a jab, a shot on us that caused more harm than good, dictatorially made us take it or you lose your employment. Something that didn't work and caused more harm than good to the human body, we now know. If you haven't figured that out yet, you need to start reading up on truthful and logical information from doctors and the medical people. So I just went on down the list. One guy comes on there, he's, that awful president, we had that plane crash and he come out using politics. At least we're getting information almost immediately and have been, updated information almost immediately as they know it. And that Trump has been on top of it and his people have been on top of it. It's not like Biden, who didn't give a shit nor care about any natural disasters or accidents such as East Palestine or Palestine, Ohio, up there. Didn't care one bit. Didn't go. No, care less. Picking you out by political parties who they'll give a $725 check to and who won't get it, with no real offer of help to house you or get you back up on your feet. After you wake up in the morning with your house gone around you, or go to a hotel and come back to you and your whole neighborhood's gone, and the audacity to hand you a $700 check, if as long as you're in their political party. This stuff is sickening from these people, and it's corruptly sick. And I put a video out yesterday thanking the younger generation, because it is you guys that are looking. Joe Rogan, for example, complete leftist, loon ass guy himself up until a little over a year ago. And something happened that opened his eyes, and boom, he was on board. And once he cracked his eyelids open, he started figuring things out very quickly. And you need to figure these things out quickly too. And these same people in boxing here that are pushing and poking and pushing all this mess on everybody else are typically the ones in the sport that are the parasites sucking the work's blood out of these young boxers, and it needs to stop. And the ones that are sucking the work's blood out are typically leftist-leaning lunatics, with the exception of one who claims to be to the right, which is Don King. But funny, because Don King is working with all the leftist corrupt people, so that would even be in question. They're the same people pushing it to where Trans people can be in fight women in the ring, and all this woke garbage, all this satanic garbage in the last Olympics in Paris. This has just got to stop. And Joe told me here a little while back, he spoke a fundamental truth that I've spoken, but that I haven't really acted on as forcefully as I should. And Joe said, why don't you ream this guy? Ream his ass, because we don't need him or his likes to succeed. I don't need it, Dad. There's going to be nobody that can handle me. I do not need these people. They need me. And so, therefore, we're going to start calling them all out. And if you are a young boxer and you don't have the backbone enough to stand up against all this crazy in this world, against all this corruption in this world, you're not going to be a champion. You might briefly, because there's 25 belts out here that you could pick up, and many more weight classifications you have opportunities to win them in, but you ain't going to be nobody. Fighting is a way of life. It is a circular explosives. And if you can't set off them explosives for your core beliefs, you're not going to make it in this sport. You're just not going to make it. I'm going to guarantee you that. I didn't agree with Ali, but he made, all the time, but he made grand stands for his core beliefs, and he stuck to them. And look, we don't have Ali's no more. And where's the Christian Ali today? Because it is us that is being pushed down. It is us that is being arrested out on the streets. And if you've been under a rock, you don't know there are several senior citizens that didn't go and interfere with abortion clinics, but yet they chose to go across the street from them and get down on their hands and knees and pray to their Lord, their God, that he would change these mothers' hearts and help them to where they'd be able to keep these children. And they got arrested for it. And these motherfuckers that had that done are these Dennis Rappaport types and these Michael Buffer types. And I could go on and on calling out names. And the Al Bernstein types that sit and go along with it. That want to fit in, want to be nice to the wrong people. And we're going to call this stuff out. We're going to continue to do it. Joe is going to win a heavyweight Olympic gold medal in Los Angeles this next go-round. Trump has his attorney general on it. We've already won the contract. The Olympics will be going nowhere. And if these queer countries don't want to come, they don't have to come. And but they're not going to be putting men in the ring in combat sports against women. Not in the U.S. because it's illegal by executive order. The Olympics are international, and no court can strike that down. And Congress was shortly to pass to make it illegal in combat sport in the U.S. at any rate. Not that the president needs that authority on international events. So you just look at these people, see what they're pushing, see what they're promoting, see who they're hating, see who they are discriminating against, and voila, you got it. You got it. And these are the same clique of people that won't even defend what they consider and what they say is their homeland, which is not the USA, it's Israel. That's what most of these people claim. And they won't even defend it. They're sick Not that I'm a Zionist, because I'm not. And if you don't know what that means, go look that up. You'll learn something. And I'm not a Zionist. However, I'm going to defend my people and my home country. You can best believe that. And my people come in a variety of different colors from a variety of different areas, predominantly Western Europe and Africa, and those are my people. Their color has nothing to do with it. Those are my people. The African that maybe doesn't look so much like me is just as much my kid, my boy, my family, my dad, my brother, my sister, as anybody that come from Western Europe. They're my people. And that's who I'm going to stick with every time. But I'm not sticking with any of this leftist, corrupt, lunatic mess. And unless you, I know in the sporting world, a lot of people in boxing, they're not political, they're not looking at much, they don't see much, they just get sound bites off the TV or online, and they believe it. And you got to get out of that. We've got to pull the combat community together and fight tyranny and fight corruption everywhere we see it. Now I want to end with this. Christ is King, Lord, and Savior up in this house, and my hopes are that if He's not in your house, that He soon will be. And me and Joe both love all of you, even the ones that are against us, even the ones that are opposed to us. We want to tell you that we want to love you, and we do love you, but we are going to stand against tyranny and corruption, and we're going to flip every stone, and we will continue to do so. And we're going to quit worrying about what they think we say, while it is they who is putting out all the ugly, all the negative, all the pushing down of other groups of people and trying to manipulate them into feeling like they are the ones that are getting battered, or the minority. Because we are not the minority, we are the majority, and it is they that should start feeling ashamed for the craziness and the evilness and the criminalness that they promote. And we hope everybody has a good week. Stand up, stand firm.